Hello and welcome back to the Cryptic Twist with me, Alex Jones. Today we're going to be looking at the Guardian Online's Cryptic Crossword number 29710 from the 2nd of June. So let's get started. Okay, here we go. So it's set by Vulcan. And yeah, it's today's. Here we go then. A merry man, Robin Hood, one said to be cooking food. Okay, it's not Robin Hood then. Now, this is where we... the interesting question here is how many merry men can I name off the top of my head? And how many that have 9 letters is another interesting question. Number 1, Robin Hood. 5 and 4, 9 in total. Doesn't work with the wordplay. Little John. 6 and 4, so it doesn't quite fit with the spacing. Friar Tuck. That's the one that hits the wordplay. One said to be cooking, a friar, and food, tuck, friar tuck. Also, Alana Dale has the right number of total letters, but again, wrong configuration. Will Scarlet. I heard somewhere there was a theory that Robin Hood, as a tale, was told in order to sell clothes dyes in Britain. Specifically green and maybe red, hence Will Scarlet and Robin Hood's, green. Anyway, that's by the by. What else have we got? Oodalally. Golly, what a day. Part of the army once more deposing one president. I like the surface reading of that. It very much paints a picture of a military coup. So once more I'm thinking that would imply that part of the army is kind of implied to be the definition there. But RE as a start, president, I think, is going to be our definition. So why is that? Part of the army, RE, could be the Royal Engineer Corps. That is a acceptable abbreviation. And then once more is again, and it's deposing one, it's taking I out. And that gives us the President Reagan. Okay. Friar Tuck has done a lot in terms of crossing letters here. Shrewd as Pharaoh. The leader of Egypt. I'm guessing that this means shrewd, astute. Yes. So astute means shrewd, and in terms of our wordplay, we've got as, which is just as. A pharaoh was Tutankhamun, known as King Tut. So we're putting Tut in, and the leader of Egypt, the first letter of Egypt is E. Okay, this is going well. The first religious believer. Ooh. That's not a lot of words to have 2 clues in. Oh, that's clever. So a religious believer. So when someone who's not a religious believer would be an atheist, and the A on that is meaning not, as in apolitical, not political. So an atheist is not a believer. So a theist is a believer. Is that in the dictionary, or is that kind of a... Theist is in the dictionary. So why is that? Oh, the is the, and then first, it's kind of like the normal, 1 ST that we might do for calendars, but the 1 is being replaced by an I, as in Roman numerals. Okay. I mean, this word down here, we've got better crossing letters than here, but only marginally. What have we got then? Excited choirs arrive in the St. Austell area, and this is 2 words, 5 down and 22 down. Oh, that's neat. Straight down there. So choirs arrive. Is that 14 letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In the St. Austell area. Oh, choirs arrive in is doing it, and I think the only reason I saw that is I'm thinking the Saint Austell area has to be the Cornish something about there, but then choirs arrive doesn't have an N. I was originally thinking in Saint maybe, ST, but obviously that doesn't work because we've got the C at the top. So what's this going to be then? Cornish, CHO. Oh, hang on. This has choirs arrive in. This has a very nice anagram helper. So let's have a look. So choirs arrive in Cornish something. Cornish region. Cornish Riviera. Okay. Now to spell Riviera. I've never heard that place referred to as the Cornish Riviera, but makes sense. Okay. Crossing letter here. Rousing slogan, but be in tears after fight. Battle cry. So, be in tears, cry. After fight, a fight will be a battle. So it's just two synonyms and a positional word, and then but is just linking, and a rousing slogan is a battle cry, which gets that out the way, but doesn't give us any more crossing letters. We had all the crossing letters anyway. Great to adhere. Mostly, it's a soft drink. If something adheres, it could be a stick. You can stick with a K, and adhere mostly might be stick without the K. And a soft drink might be Fanta, because we've got the A and the T, and that will give us fantastic, which does mean great. Okay, this is going quite well so far. I'm surprised. Breakdown organisation covers horse. I mean, horse can be H. I don't know if that's a riding thing, but can horse also be a synonym for heroin, which can be H? That feels like a bit of a step too far, doesn't it? I think horse can just be H. And a breakdown organisation could be the Automobile Association. And if I'm surprised, I might say, aha, okay, that works. Now, do we go with, which of these do we go with? Let's go with the 17 down, I think. Past, making an attempt, a go. An attempt is a go. And if something is in the past, then it was long ago. It doesn't feel quite perfect in terms of past and ago being right, but let's see if we've that O is going to be forced, so we'll see if this A is forced, if this O is forced, and then if this G is forced. We don't actually need to be too sure on the word ago, as long as we're happy with the three words around it. Half a US state is a source of metals. Source of metals is an ore. You dig that out of the ground, and presumably half a US state is referring to Oregon. We're taking the first three letters and leaving the last three off. Okay, 20C19. Ironing lessons outside school hours. Not seeing that. Let's see if we can do this one. One may win over a king. I'm not sure what that is. We've got two of the letters. There's literally only 26 things it could be. One may win. One may win over? If you awe someone, do you win them over? I don't think so. Alright, let's see what else we've got. Given how many clues we've done, we've got surprisingly few crossing letters left now, I think. And that's good as well. So the ironing lessons is going on the straight, just as Cornish Riviera did. Ironing lessons. Could ironing be pressing? No. Outside school hours. Evening. I like evening something. Although, because this is 7 and 7, either one of these could be evening, couldn't they? So let's see that this is going to be, let's say that, oh no, we know which one of these is likely to be evening, because AEE doesn't feel like it. Evening activity, no. Evening something. These crossing letters aren't great, are they? What's our best crossing letter we've got left? This V, give it a whirl. Exhausted oneself, but a few deliveries brought success. A few deliveries might be an over, as in cricket deliveries. Overtired might mean exhausted oneself. Does that work? Over tier ed? No. Brought success. Over one? No. I like over though. It fits with a V. Can we make use of this R? Tree covering river bottom. Tree covering river. So maybe it's a 5-letter tree that goes around R for river. It would cover it then. And could that mean bottom? What would bottom mean? Your rear, the lowest element, the base. I'm not sure. Let's see what else we've got. Stress I had to avoid mishap. Mishap could be an anagram indicator, but if that was the case, my best guess is it's avoid and I as an anagram for stress, and I can't see that. Offspring holding beer mug. Exactly. Or offspring could be a son. If that's holding a word for beer mug, then that could be something on. I'm thinking spot on, but is a pot a beer mug? Spot on does mean exactly. What else might you call a beer mug? A stein. Glass. A tankard. Nothing else that's short, is there? So I think pot probably does work. If we look at pot, is it going to have a definition of a beer mug? A vessel of some sort. Not too bad. Let's see if Google has any. Does Google have anything better? Oh, a container for holding drink, especially beer. Okay, I feel much happier with that now then. So we got there with the definition rather than the wordplay, but we got there nonetheless. We've got this P, this T, and this N then. Those are okay. One fairly unblamed scapegoat as the first to smear cloak with butter. Do I like scapegoat? And if I do, why do we like it? First to smear, S. Cloak could be a cape. And then butter, a goat. Might you refer to a... Oh, no. Because a goat is... Goats are notorious for headbutting things. So it is a literal butter. Okay. So it's not a... it's not an anagram of avoid I. Fail to deal with troubled region. Again, the surface reading of this is It feels very, like a natural sentence. So troubled could be a anagram indicator. If that's the case, then region is going to be our anagram fodder. Yes, ignore. Okay. C19, evening something. This luxury accommodation is the tops. Penthouse. Yes, that's right. So this is effectively just a cryptic clue. Penthouse is luxury accommodation. It tends to be at the top floor of the building. So is the tops is our kind of secondary little bit. I guess arguably it's kind of a double definition, but a cryptic clue always kind of is a double definition, isn't it? But it never quite meets that threshold. So I think we're calling it a cryptic clue. Act of resistance, no problem for army command. No problem might be okay. Not quite seeing it at the moment. Might have to come back to that one. Get computer going again. So as I said earlier with, what was it, the Reagan clue, going again, I'm always thinking re something with another kick. So get computer going again will be a reboot, and another kick will be to boot something again to reboot it. Okay. I like the R and the B as crossing letters much more than what we had before. Safety procedure needed when digging up pavement. Curb when digging up pavement. So curb as pavement feels right. Curb. What's a phrase that starts curb? Curb appeal. Curb your enthusiasm. Not spelt correctly. Curb. Curb upheaval. Digging up. What have we got? Curb turning. Don't know. Come back to that, I think. Loaf. Starter that may be needed for a simple meal. 9 letters. May be needed. Might that be an anagram indicator? I don't think so. I can't see what the fodder would be. Miscreant concerned with affirmation of will. So concerned with could be RE. What would an affirmation of will be? Is that an affirmation of like a last will and testament, or is that an affirmation, or is it just 2 words, affirmation, and then will, meaning, you know, spirit sort of thing. Will equals spirit, doesn't it? Not sure. Carried over island. Not sure there either. Come back to that when we got crossing letter. I'm imagining that's a double definition, or maybe, I mean, island can be shortened to I, but I'm not sure. Nice black sheep, perhaps. One I particularly detest. Black sheep is 10 letters. Perhaps could be an anagram indicator. I don't think it is here. Nice black is 9 letters, but then what's the word sheep doing there? A sheep could be a U. I've got an E here, so if nice was N and we had U straight after that, doesn't give us a word. So that's a non-thought. Shoot a ploughman. A ploughman might be a tiller, someone who, but that doesn't mean shoot, does it? Sailor's Shanty remixed with Mac. I mean, a remix there feels like about as clear an anagram indicator as you could have. So I'm wondering if we take Shanty and Mac and get a word for a sailor. Shanty Mac. You could have man at the end. I don't think I'm seeing it. Maybe that's not right. Some easier rambles. That feels like it is going to be... the word some here feels like it's a hidden. Easier rambles in the mountains. Sierra. Sierra's the mountain range, isn't it? Okay. Gives us some crossing letters for these three. Shanty and Mac still possible. I mean, could just be Mac at the end, right? It doesn't... The wordplay suggests that Shanty is remixed. It doesn't necessarily say that Mac is. Mac could go at the start or end, but I feel like if it went at the start, then we'd be much clearer about what that was. Shanty Mac, does that give us anything? Not seeing anything. Okay, what clues have we not looked at yet? Not straight. Curved. Lads becoming wild animals. Wild animals. Not straight. Lads. I think it's going to be difficult to find a word for lads that's less than 4 letters. Could be what? Boys? If we assume it's wild animals, it's probably plural. We're just getting more and more potential letters into our Shanty Mac anagram. What if this is a word for a miscreant? If you exhausted yourself, you might have overdid it, which fits with that I. Overdone it would be what you're looking for, doesn't it? But that it feels very likely if we've got the I there. Ooh, spog on. No, penthouse, there we go. I'm going to start Googling things. Is there any chance this doesn't have curb at the start? Just looking at some synonyms for miscreant. Could... Yes, this could be reprobate. So thinking, could this be reprobate, and then trying to work out why? But it can, because the affirmation of a will is going to be probate, and as we said earlier, concerned with is RE. So RE, probate, reprobate. That gives us a good starting letter here, actually, doesn't it? It makes tiller look possible for shooter ploughman. Is there a definition of tiller that I'm not knowing? Yes, a tiller, a lateral shoot from the base of a stem of a plant. So I wasn't aware of that, but tiller made sense as a ploughman. So it's just a double definition. And yeah, not one that I was aware of, but yeah, lateral shoot, base of plant. Carried over island, brought, bring, brings. Looking for something with an I in it for island, but I don't know if that's useful or not. Loaf, starter. That may be needed for a simple meal. Loaf starter could be L, the starting letter of oaf. That may be, could be IE. I think I'm reading too much into that. If we think of a word that means needed, that's 6 letters, an O and an E in it. Required. It's ridiculous that I haven't put anything in for this 3-letter word where I've got 2 of the letters. Oh, this is a cryptic definition. So just working through the alphabet, unfortunately by QWERTY, not by ABC. Toward the end of that, I hit ace, and 1, which is an ace, may win over a king. An ace will beat a king in a card game. So I think that's what we're seeing. And again, I think I've said this earlier in this video, like cryptic definition, like sometimes it almost feels like it's a double definition. Sometimes it doesn't quite feel like it meets that threshold. I think I'm saying that one's a cryptic definition. But if you think it's a double, well, get in the comments, complain about me there. So then this ironing lessons outside school hours. Evening chores. Evening. What's ironing doing in this? Ironing lessons is very specific. Oh, if you're ironing something, then you're leveling it, aren't you? You're making it more even. So ironing might be to do with the evening. And then lessons makes me think this will end in an S. Evening classes. Yes. Okay. I think I'm saying again, this is a cryptic definition. So ironing lessons would be lessons in which you learn how to even, so evening classes. But lessons outside school hours would be, the word lessons there is needed for evening classes. So either it's a double definition that's kind of got some crossover, or we're saying that this is a cryptic definition. I think I'm saying it's a cryptic definition, but again, get in the comments, tell me how it's a double. Tell me how I'm not quite seeing it. Oh, this one here is overdid it, isn't it? Because if you get success, then you did it. Did you do it? I did it. There's your success. So overdid it is right, and exhausted oneself means that you overdid it. Not straight. Okay, this becomes by, and your lads might be your sons, and wild animals are bisons. Okay. Not straight meaning by is a little cheeky there, but yeah. Tree covering. Might this be a beach covering a bottom? So I think commonly a breach would be a hole in something, but your breeches are trousers, aren't they? Do they cover your breech, your bottom? I'm going to put that in, but let's give it a look. Breech meaning. Sometimes confused with breech. Let's give that one a go. Breech, a person's buttocks, and that's not how you spell beech the tree, is it? Yeah, so understood the wordplay, got the definition, just misspelt it. Fell at the final hurdle on that one. Sailor's Shanty remixed with Mac. Let's assume that this is going to end man. Yachtsman. Okay. Got there in the end. So yeah, Shanty Mac, it's an anagram of that. The Mac is truly part of the anagram, it's not stuck on the end. Yachtsman, which is a type of sailor, one who goes on a yacht. Oh, okay, I've got this. So I'm just looking at this EE and thinking sheep feels okay for you there, doesn't it? EWE. But then what would that make this letter, this word, this first letter here would have to be something really odd. I then thought, well, what if you put in the B from black? Maybe this means nice. And then my thinking on seeing that was, well, that's not a word, but maybe bet might be. And then if something is that you particularly detest, that would be described as your bête noire. I think that comes from the French. I think it means black beast. So a black sheep could be described as a black beast, a bête noire. So I think this one's a double definition. There is an episode of the most recent season of Black Mirror called Bête Noire, in which there is let's say a childhood enemy that comes back. So that's a popular culture piece for it. And just in terms of the French, I think there's an accent over it, over the T, a circumflex. I'm not sure what a circumflex is. One of the ones that looks like that, the little hat. And if you've got a French word that has that over it, you can often turn that into the English word by putting an S in there. So a bête becomes a best, a beast. Pâté becomes a pasté or a paste, for example. Okay, we're getting there. A stress, speaking of accents in Bête Noire, a stress might be an accent. Oh, yes, I think that is right actually. Because accent, we're taking out the ID in the middle of accident. I had can be abbreviated to IT and we're avoiding that, we're taking it out. So that is going to, so accent will be, so mishap is accident, we're taking ID out of it. So yeah, that works. Act of resistance. Stunt something. Army command. An army command might be kind of a parade ground order. I'm thinking like attention, or because that T in the end. Stand easy, yes. I wouldn't have said. So I've got that from, yeah, army command. Yeah, so no problem. Okay, so act of resistance is a stand. No problem. If something is not a problem, then it is easy, and the army command is stand easy, to mean relax, effectively, as a drill command. Okay, so one more section. How much do I think this isn't going to end up being curb something? If it isn't, that's why I'm having such a problem with it. But okay, we've got so much of this word. I feel less bad about revealing this word here. So let's go for it and see what it is. Curb drill. Never heard the phrase curb drill. What does that mean? Oh, okay. So it's the safety procedure when you cross the road, looking left, looking right. And you're digging up the pavement, then you would be drilling the curb. Okay. If you carried something, you might say that you brung it. I'm trying to justify Bering being an island, as in the Bering Strait. I think we're going to need to reveal this one as well. Alright, let's do it. Borneo. If something was carried, it was born, and over is going to be abbreviated to O. Okay, that's not ridiculous. What is ridiculous is the lack of useful crossing letters that we've got here. Let's take a guess at what some of these letters are, and then we'll reveal it. So L-I. I'm going to go lie, because I think that's a word more than Liz is, but loaf, starter L, that may be i.e. needed, required, opener. No idea, I'm just putting in a word, saying that there's a word, I can't make it. I don't think it's right. Let's have a look then, we'll reveal the word. Tin opener. It's So a tin opener might be needed for a simple meal, because you need to open a tin of baked beans to make the meal. A starter, I'm guessing, is an opener. Like, that makes sense in like cricket terminology. But a loaf and a tin? Your loaf could be your head. Could tin be your head? Okay, it is a word for a type of bread loaf. So okay, as a clue, I can't complain too much then. I thought that was, I didn't get it obviously. I thought even by putting the word opener in that it wasn't right. Now how do we find that crossword? Let's have a look see. Of note here, it's a Monday Guardian crossword, which I think does tend to be on the easier side. That being said, my time wasn't particularly great, and we did have to use 3 clues in the end. So Borneo I think was gettable. Curb drill, maybe if I had Borneo, maybe I had would have had the crossing letters to get it, but it's not a phrase I'm familiar with. And tin opener I think was very tricky. Coming up with tin meaning loaf, I think was going to be a tricky one, especially when your definition is reasonably vague, needed for a simple meal, but I think it was technically gettable, but I didn't quite get there. Overall, I did quite enjoy that cryptic crossword. It was a little stretching for me and my current capabilities, I think, but mostly got there. I'm conscious that like I say, the Monday is supposed to be slightly easier on the Guardian. It gets a bit harder as the week progresses, so this might mean that I'm not recording the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see. I might give it a go, and if it goes smoothly, I might publish that, but if I don't, then you know it went poorly. Or maybe I'd do it and we'll see. Okay, if you enjoyed what you saw, then please do like and subscribe. And we'll be back tomorrow with probably my normal fare of the Mail Online cryptic crossword. If people make comments and say that they enjoy this one, or it gets a lot of views or likes, then I will do another Guardian at some point. Otherwise, it might be Mail Online and Everyman for me. So until next time, thank you very much.